5 80s horror movie special effects that are awesome. We always say, nothing beats the real deal. This is the exact reason why moviegoers from across generations will fondly recall classic horror movies from the 80s. During this era, employing practical effects was the name of the game. In contrast, horror filmmakers in the late 90s and onwards chose to do it via CGI effects. Truth be told, it's hard to substitute the kind of horror emanating from those films that exude a more visceral, more tactile effect. Now let's get that heart pumping once again with these 5 80s horror movie special effects that remain awesome. Number 5. The Thing, 1982. Considered as one of the most remarkable horror sci-fi films ever made in the history of cinema, John Carpenter's The Thing was actually a box office flop when it was first released in 1982. As time passed, however, the movie's reputation grew, so much so that it already has a loyal cult following. Despite what they said before, critics and moviegoers alike have now begun to appreciate the movie's brilliant use of practical effects and distinctive creature designs which perfectly match its cinematic and thematic appeal. The story revolves around a group of Antarctic researchers who met their untimely destruction when an alien, who can take any shape, coexisted with them. The villain's ability provides the movie plenty of opportunities to create various monsters and mutated beings that are absolutely terrifying.
All right, go!
Number 4. An American Werewolf in London, 1981. You might think of this as a bit of a stretch, but many would agree that there's probably no other werewolf transformation sequence that can surpass the work of Rick Baker, the special effects wizard in the classic horror comedy film An American Werewolf in London. A lot of critics would agree that the story itself is not exactly worth remembering. 2 American backpackers are in England to find some wildlife adventures when they have a run-in with a werewolf. They get attacked, leaving one of them dead and the other waiting for his lycanthropic fate. While the work falls in the borderline between something amusing and terrifying, the film did shine through with its groundbreaking monster transformation effects, which actually changed the way horror makeups are done during that era. Number 3. Scanners, 1981. Have you ever wondered where that infamous exploding head gif came from? It's a literal mind-blowing sequence that really catches the attention of many fans from the days yonder and even today. If you must know, that particular scene is from the sci-fi horror film by David Cronenberg titled Scanners. The 1981 film explores the world where some people are bestowed with telepathic and telekinetic powers. The head explosion happened when the villainous character of Michael Ironside, Daryl Revok, uses his telekinetic abilities to explode the head of an unfortunate news anchor on TV. Having watched this particular scene multiple times, we admit that the effect was truly impressive. In a way, it also proved the extraordinary talents of the special effects people in the 80s, who, despite the lack of technology, were able to adapt and deliver that level of work. For this, special effects supervisor Gary Zeller had everyone scuttle to safety as he propped up the stuffed news anchor dummy. With everything on set, he had someone blow the head off with a real shotgun. It's simple, yet so effective and undeniably iconic.
All right, we're gonna do it the scanner way. I'm gonna suck your brain dry.
Number 2. The Fly, 1986. Sometimes we wonder how moviegoers from the 80s were able to go on with their usual lives after seeing these horrifying films marred with gut-wrenching scenes. Were they still able to eat their food after? Or perhaps go to sleep? They must have had some iron guts to watch films like the magnum opus from David Cronenberg, titled The Fly. As terrifying as it was before, this movie continues to send shivers up and down the spines of its viewers even today. And this is largely in part to what makeup artist Chris Wallace did for the film. One of the most unforgettable scenes in the film features the character of Jeff Goldblum, Seth Brundle, transforming into an insect hybrid. Suffice to say, the sequence is unbelievably gross as Brundle deteriorates. It's probably a grueling ordeal seeing the decomposition process, complete with gross body fluids and organs falling off Brundle's body. If that didn't make you flinch, then we don't know what will. Wallace, who won an Academy Award for his stellar works in the special effects department, spent several months designing Brundle's multi-stage metamorphosis. Kudos also to Goldblum, who allowed himself to get through those many hours spent glued in the makeup chair.
A family of 3 joined together in one body? More human than I am alone.
And number 1, Alien, 1979. Without a doubt, the famous chestburster scene in Ridley Scott's iconic movie Alien is easily one of the greatest special effects ever filmed. There might be questions in your head with regards to the claim, but at the time the film came out in theaters, everyone was blown away. Aside from his technical prowess, Scott's manipulation of his cast during the film of the chestburster scene is, shall we say, very commendable. What happened was Scott chose to keep everyone in the dark as to what would happen to John Hurt's character. They didn't know what to expect when Hurt's cane fell sick during a breakfast scene. In a way, Scott set everyone up for one of the biggest scares in the history of horror filmmaking. They had no idea that a baby alien made of animal organs would pop out hard from the actor's chest, mindlessly spewing and gushing blood on everyone around. That scream from Veronica Cartwright, who plays Lambert in the movie, it's apparently a genuine scream. The other members of the cast were taken aback as well. Certainly enough, the terror and the scare felt on set reverberated to the viewers. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.